This week on the Analog Circle podcast, more rumors are circulating around what Sony Santa Monica Studios is working on. There has even been an alleged screenshot of the project. Xbox has another showcase coming up very soon. A former Rockstar employee doesn't believe GTA 6 will run at 60 frames per second. And BioWare is fading even more from its former glory with more layoffs occurring. But all of these stories can be found here and much more in episode 243 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Keon Mitchell, and welcome to the show. Come on in, sit down and relax because we're going to have a great conversation today. And if you're traveling, then hopefully we can accompany you to your destination. Now, with that being said, if you do want to be a part of listener feedback, you can do it two different ways. You can either call in at 443-627-9087 and let your voice literally be heard. Or you can email the show, and the email address is simply theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. And if you are planning on having a family get together, may I ask, or may I suggest that you check out a game called Shots Fired, No Filter Edition. Now this is the ultimate card drinking game where no secret is safe and every answer is up for debate. Players take turns drawing cards loaded with spicy, controversial questions designed to push boundaries and stir the pot. If you're brave enough to answer truthfully, you're in the clear. But if you refuse to spill the tea, it's time to take a shot. Friends can call bluff on answers they think are fake, leading to more drinks and even more drama. With every round, the game gets wilder, secrets are exposed, and inhibitions disappear. Get ready for a night of laughs, bold confessions, and unforgettable moments where the truth has no limits. Now, I will say that the link is in the description if you want to check out, again, Shots Fired. Now, with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and let's get in to what we all come here for. And that is no doubt the gaming news that went down. So let's get things started with the story that I got from GameSpot. So, oh my goodness, I guess this has to be one of the biggest, but not so shocking stories of the week. So both Turn 10 and Playground Games has announced that Forza Horizon 5 will be coming to PlayStation 5 in the spring of 2025. Now, the game will be developed by Panic Button, who also did work on Forza Horizon 4 and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, just to name a few. Also, the PS5 version will support crossplay with Xbox, Series X and S, and PC. So if you guys want to go head to head with each other, feel free. Crossplay is on. Also, every piece of content available in the Xbox version, including, good grief, almost 900 cars and 40 themed updates, will be available at launch for the PlayStation 5 version, with the Hot Wheels pack from 2022 being available for purchase in the PlayStation Store. This right here was a shocker to me. Now, I understand that some people will say, but Phil Spencer said there are no red lines. Phil Spencer did say in that infamous IGN interview that more games are coming. Why are you so shocked? I will say because it is one of the three pillars of Xbox. I understood that when Phil Spencer said no red lines, nothing was off the table. But I just thought somewhere, somehow, some way that they would never give up one of their big three to a rival platform. And yet here we are. So from this point on, I can truly say, not even me, bump what I say. I think we all know that from this point on, nothing, and I mean nothing, is off the table. Can you imagine? Just think of this, just for a second. People on the PlayStation 5, they're going to get all of the content, almost 900 cars, 40 themed updates, all of this stuff. Imagine this. PlayStation 5 could possibly have a feature that Xbox players will never get a chance to experience. And what am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about the DualSense controller. Now, if you've played Astrobot, you know exactly what those triggers are capable of doing. And could you imagine that with Forza, they actually use the DualSense controller features with the trigger buttons, with the brake and the gas, and you could actually feel the rumble inside of the triggers as you're taking off or as you're hitting the brake. And if the brakes lock up on you, the trigger actually gets harder to push down, and you're trying to push it down and you can't, and it's still slipping. It's just that feature alone. That feature, if it is true, and again, we don't know what's going to happen with Panic Button. We don't know what they're going to include outside of the content. But if that does happen, that would probably be enough for me to actually get Forza Horizon 5 again. Because quite honestly, I never played it on the Series X. I had it. It's still in the wrapper. Never played it. But having that kind of feature on that controller, not to mention, could you imagine if they took it a step further and they actually use the motion control inside of the controller? Because if you have played Astrobot, you do know that if you tilt the controller to the left and to the right, that Astrobot will literally on the screen, when you're tilting the controller, go to the left and to the right. Imagine if they use that kind of feature and make it a steering mechanism where if you tilt the controller to the right a little bit, the car goes right. Tilt it to the left, it goes left. Hitting the trigger buttons for the brakes and for the gas, it could truly give you a bit of a different experience when you're talking about playing this game on PlayStation 5. If they do include those features. Now, I will say that Phil Spencer, during that ABK deal, he did say that there would be parity across the board. So if Xbox didn't have a certain feature, then PlayStation wouldn't have a certain feature either. But to that point, then wouldn't that possibly mean that they wouldn't be showing support to the PlayStation 5 Pro, if that was the case? Because it's already been said that they will be showing support for the PlayStation 5 for some of these games. I believe Doom, the Dark Ages, was mentioned when they talked about this. So that right there, that kind of throws that out of the window to a certain degree. That, oh man, that they would much rather, well, maybe not much rather, but that they're willing to do extra for the PlayStation 5 version. But at the same time, Phil Spencer will not give up the parity clause when it comes to the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. But yet he would let his own team possibly do more on the PlayStation 5 side than he would on the Xbox side. Now, again, we don't know 100% what's going to happen with some of these games when you compare it to the PlayStation 5 version. But just the fact that that is a possibility of that happening, just says so much. It really does. And that's the reason why. I mean, let's not make this a bigger deal than what it needs to be. We get it. It's happening. It's nothing that can be done. More games are coming. We know that for a fact. Doom has already been in the books. It's coming. I think Outer Worlds 2 is coming, as well as, well, we know Call of Duty, but I wasn't thinking about that one. It's another one that's coming as well. Shucks, even Ninja Gaiden 2 Remastered is on PlayStation. And if you go to the channel, you can see where it says Xbox Studios or Xbox something, when the game is booting up. Even that's over there. So the writing is absolutely on the wall. For anybody that was thinking about getting an Xbox, I think the only saving grace that Xbox has, and I will never, well, I'm not going to say never, but I can say it's hard for me to say that it's not the best value in gaming, is of course Game Pass. That is the saving grace if you are a Xbox fan. You do have Game Pass on your side, where a lot of these games are going to be there day and date, and you will not have to pay $70. Instead, you'll be paying, what is it, up to $24.99, somewhere around there? I'm not sure, but somewhere around there to actually get these games every month. That's the value. But if you're not into Game Pass and you'd rather buy your games a la carte, individually, one after the other, like myself, then the Xbox really, in my opinion, and I say this humbly, it doesn't have value. You're giving up the goods. You're giving up the reason to own your platform. So now not only do PlayStation owners have God of War, Uncharted, Horizon, they got your Horizon now. Forza Horizon 5. They'll possibly be getting your Halo along with other titles as well. So what is the incentive? They're going to give you the best version for the PlayStation 5 Pro. You're going to be able to have features like I was talking about, possible features on the PlayStation 5 that you can't get on the Series X or S when it comes to the controller. Goodness gracious. It's a very interesting situation. Again, not shocking. We knew it was coming. I think where it gets disingenuous is when people said that they saw this coming months upon months and like a year ago. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. No, you didn't. You didn't. Some people, yes, they genuinely knew, but others who say, oh yeah, I saw this coming, Xbox fans. Oh yeah, I knew it was going to happen. No, y'all were denying the guy, and I forgot his name. He was on some kind of a conference call where he was talking about that more games would be coming to other platforms. It was a Wells Fargo thing. I think it was something like that. I can't quite remember. Some kind of investor meeting or something. And people said, oh, no. See, they're already misinterpreting what he means. They're misinterpreting. I know I said that terribly, that name. Misinterpreting what he means. What he meant is Call of Duty is coming and things that were already third party are coming. Not these exclusives that Xbox is known for. No way would they do that. Well, they are here and it is happening right now with Forza Horizon 5, who again could be getting some features on the PlayStation 5 version that Xbox fans could only dream of. And it's no fault of their own. It's not their fault that their controller doesn't do what the DualSense does. However, PlayStation fans, PlayStation owners could possibly be able to take advantage of one of these features that only will be on the PlayStation 5 version. We'll see what happens with this in the upcoming weeks and months once the game releases and see if it actually does have some extra features. We'll find out sooner than later. Let's go ahead though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Tech Radar. So according to a former Rockstar developer named Mike York, who was an animator and worked on both Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5, he believes that GTA 6 will run at 30 frames per second. He said, and I quote, "I don't know if they'll be able to pull off 60 frames per second. I don't think so. I think they're going to be shooting for 30 frames per second and a locked 30 frames per second, meaning it never dips below that." End of quote. Now, I know some of the talk has been that the PlayStation 5 Pro will be the one to run it at 60 frames. Well, to that point, Mike did say, and I quote again, "I don't think at the initial release it'll come out at 60 frames per second unless it's getting those 60 frames per second by using an AI upscaler thing like the PlayStation is doing. Unless something is coming in and helping it get those 60 frames per second, I don't think it'll get the 60 frames per second raw out the gate on a base console. For instance, maybe PS5 Pro or whatever, but I still don't think so." End of quote. So that is the question, not of the week, but the question is, where are you on this? Do you think that the game is going to run at a 30 frames per second clip, but it's going to be a stable 30 frames per second locked? It'll never go below 30, but it'll never go above 30. Do you think that's the case? Or do you think that no, the game will run at 60 frames per second? And I want to be fair here. I'm mainly only talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro version. Because again, we don't know exactly what Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be. We pretty much know the pedigree of what Rockstar does. So we can pretty much imagine the game is going to be very, very demanding. So on the base consoles, I'm already marking them out. They're going to be 30 frames per second. They may even dip below 30, depending on how demanding the game is going to be. But with the PlayStation 5 Pro, I still believe it could possibly be 30, maybe 40. I don't know about 60. I don't know. The demand, again, we'll have to wait and see, I think, to see exactly what the game is going to be able to do, how big the map is going to be, how many NPCs are going to be on the screen at once, how many buildings, if it is true, that you'll be able to run into, destroy, things of that nature. But when you culminate all of those rumors that we've been hearing about being able to run into big buildings, being able to blow up gas stations and debris flying everywhere, being able to rip off the roof on smaller scale buildings, all of those things, that stuff is going to add up. So I think from that perspective, if these rumors have been true, I think we're going to be getting 30 frames per second, possibly locked on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Maybe, just maybe, if you can drop the resolution to, 1080p, maybe on the PlayStation 5 Pro, then maybe you can get closer to 60 frames per second, but I don't know if it's going to be locked. But I would love to hear from you. Let's go ahead though, guys, and let's get into the next story. And this is a pretty quick story. I actually got this from Inside Gaming. So in quick random news, Far Cry New Dawn is getting an update both on Series X and PS5 to get the game running. And we were just talking about this, but they're going to be getting the game running at 60 frames per second. Now, the other interesting thing about this is on February 4th, Far Cry New Dawn will be in Game Pass. It's going to be there. I'm telling you, it's one of the best values in gaming. It's a reason to own an Xbox. Again, I'm not mad at anybody that owns an Xbox just for Game Pass. It's a great value. And again, it's going to get even more valuable with Far Cry New Dawn actually getting in there, which, I mean, this upgrade is very interesting because that game is a couple of years old now, but Ubisoft decided to go back into the lab and actually make this a thing. I don't dislike it. I think it's honorable that they would do such a thing. Hopefully, more people will go into it and actually purchase it, pick it up. People that may not have, to be able to experience the game at 60 frames per second. Let's go ahead though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from PSU. So in more quick news, both Demon Souls and Gran Turismo 7's PC ports were canceled, with Demon Souls reportedly unlikely to ever receive a port. Oh, man. I am sitting here wondering what the world happened. What made them actually cancel Gran Turismo 7 and this Demon Souls port over to PC? Could it be the numbers? Could it be that they looked over there and they said, man, these PC guys ain't really buying no games. They ain't doing too much. Let's cancel those things. They're not even worth bringing over to the platform because we're not going to be able to make our money back. Could that have been the case? I mean, we got to remember Spider-Man 2 just went over on PC. What was it? January 30th. And I think the peak player count wasn't even at 10,000. Matter of fact, I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't want to give you misinformation. We're going to look this up together. Let's look up the stat on how many copies did Spider-Man 2 sell on PC. How many copies of Spider-Man 2 sold on PC? All right, let's see. How many copies of Spider-Man? No, not the original Spider-Man. That only sold 1.5 million for the original. Okay, how many copies of Spider-Man 2 have been sold? No, that's on the PlayStation 5. It's sold 11 million. That's good, but yeesh, that's kind of low. It's a good number, but I would have thought it would have done better. Let's see. Maybe we can word it in a different way. How many concurrent players are on Steam for Spider-Man 2? Dag. How many concurrent players are on Steam for Spider-Man 2?
According to VG Charts,
this
Horizon
is wrong.
Forbidden West Complete Edition 40,462 players.
No.
The Last of Us Part 1 36,496 players.
Oh my gosh.
God of War Ragnarok 35,615 players. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 28,189 players.
What? 28,000? What? No way. 28,000?
What did he say?
28,000. So the number keeps getting lower. Again, they said, I didn't know exactly where it was going, but darn, I'm glad we got there. Horizon Forbidden West topped out at 40,462 players. Last of Us, 36,496. God of War, 35,615. And Spider-Man 2, 28,189 players. Why would they put their games day and date on PC? And out of the four highly rated games on PlayStation 5, why would they put these games day and date if they can't even break 50,000? The highest they got is 40,462 players on PC. Hold on. No, now wait. It's no. No, I know that's not true. They had to wait. No. I'm not going to say that's true for Horizon, The Last of Us Part 1, and God of War, because those have been over there longer than that. So hold on. I'm not going to buy that. But Spider-Man 2 just got there. And that's at 28,189 units sold. Good grief. And this was 2 days ago that these numbers came out. 2 days. So let me just reconfirm to make sure that Horizon Forbidden West didn't sell just 40,000. I highly doubt it did that bad on PC. So let me ask. How many copies of Horizon Forbidden West sold on PC? Let's see. Okay, it says it is Horizon Forbidden West selling well on PC. There haven't been any updates since that the game went from not being in the top 100 to entering top 10 indicates that Horizon Forbidden West sold quite well on PC. Okay. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn sold 2.4 million. That's about all I got. But yeah, I know it didn't do that bad. It didn't do that bad, but maybe, like I said, concurrent players. Yeah, maybe it was that bad at one point in time. But again, like I said, we can X those numbers, but Spider-Man numbers are real. And that is abysmal. And you can say it's because it's a bad port. Yeah, I hear you. You might be on to something with that. You might possibly be on the right track. But at the same time, good grief, man. Not even 30,000, not even 50, not even 100,000. Where's the incentive to put any game over there on PC day and date with numbers like that? And y'all are bigger, y'all have a bigger fan base, or player base, I should say, than console. And these numbers are that bad over there. No way. It makes financial sense to put it over there when you're talking about putting a port, how much it's going to cost to get it over there. These ports are not cheap. They're not cheap. Matter of fact, let's see if we can even find out how much it cost. How much did the original Spider-Man port to PC cost? It says, in comparison, Spider-Man 2018 Remastered took about $40 million USD to develop. I'm not a game developer, of course, but that seems really high. That's how much the PC port budget was. $40 million for Spider-Man 1. So when people say, oh man, they can just get that, throw that over there, it doesn't cost any money. Lies. $40 million it costs to get it over on PC. And you think that spending that kind of money and generating, and I know it's not this Spider-Man, this is Spider-Man 2 we're talking about, but generating numbers like less than 30,000 is enough to incentivize them to continue to do this, let alone bring it day and date? No darn way. They're already losing money. You know what? Let's see another one. How much was the cost for Horizon Forbidden West to be developed on PC?
According to Wikipedia,
oh, that's
according
wrong.
to documents
That's wrong.
from Sony,
That's wrong.
the 5-year development peaked at over 300 full-time employees and cost around 212 million United States dollars, making the game one of the most expensive ever to develop.
All right, I got you. God, dog, that is high. 212 million. But that wasn't it. Let's see. How much did Horizon Forbidden West cost to port to PC? Let's see. It's just giving that 212. Horizon Zero Dawn, I might be just hyped, but it's running smooth. Let's see. It's not going to really give it doesn't seem like it's trying to give a price of how much it cost. Yeah, I'm not seeing a price, not on PC. Nope. Now it did say, says Horizon Zero Dawn released on PC in August 2020 and had a successful launch, moving over 700,000 digital units. By March 2022, that number had increased to about 2.4 million. So yeah, that's the first one. Of course, not the second one, but I think the second one did better than the first one. So that's a good indicator. 2.4 million is a lot. That's a lot. But I don't know if they go day and date, because they would really, really take away a lot of their own revenue. And we know that PlayStation, even though not the only thing that Sony does possess, they also have cameras, they got camera lenses and TVs as well, and PlayStation. But PlayStation does bring in a nice size revenue. It is a nice size revenue stream of money that it brings in. And with them putting their games on PC day and date, I could see more and more people not having a reason to get the console, which means less people are going to buy controllers, and even less people are going to buy PSN, which is also reoccurring, money that happens every month. So I just don't think that at this point in the game that they're willing to chance that and actually give people a reason to not own a PlayStation 5, because they are not in the same position as Microsoft or Xbox. Xbox is under what, a $2 trillion company? $3 trillion? I don't know how much, but they have enough around them to keep them afloat if Microsoft chooses to. PlayStation? Nah, Sony does not have the money to continuously lose and lose and lose, when it comes to PlayStation, not gaining or earning money, so I don't think they would get the same resources, and things could go very bad for the PlayStation brand, if they're not able to keep up with the sales numbers that they need to make sure that they're turning a profit and being able to, in turn, be able to keep the doors of PlayStation open. But, we'll see, though. But anyway, yeah, Gran Turismo and Demon Souls are not, again, coming to PC. Let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I got from MP first. Now, let's get into some, as I like to call, and we always know, let's get into some rumors.
Rumor has it is something that only I know.
So, for quite a while, we've been hearing the Gears of War, the Gears of War franchise, including 1, 2, and 3, would be getting remastered using Unreal Engine 5. Now, one of the leakers who has brought this story up is Extas Ones, which he spells his name EXTAS with the number 1 and S behind the 1. Now, this is the thing where things get interesting is where he says, quote, the only thing that I've been able to confirm is he says the only thing I haven't been able to confirm is the launch of a Switch version, but it can be played cross-platform on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, end of quote. Now, we also said, and I quote, it will be announced as multi-platform day 1, end of quote. God, dog. Yeah, so this trilogy looks like it's going to PlayStation 5 day and date with the Xbox version. And not only is it going to be their day and date, it's also going to be cross-platform. Good grief. Would I be shocked if this happens? Absolutely not. I don't think so. But again, another pillar of the Xbox community, possibly gone. Yet another one. And I know that some people will say those games are old. 1, 2, and 3, they're over a decade old now. Who cares? You should care. You absolutely should care. Because if they're getting rid of 1 through 3, you can believe that E-Day is going over there. possibly even day and date. So again, I'm gonna just ask, why have a PlayStation if you're not a Game Pass subscriber? Not gonna say it's a waste of money. Some people just love the ecosystem. That's fine. But with a game, or should I say a franchise, as big as Gears of War, coming to PlayStation, man, this whole thing is over. This thing is over. You may as well just pack it up and just leave the building. Just pack it up. Get up out of there. Ain't no coming back, brothers. Ain't no coming back. Darn. God dog. Another one. Gone to the streets. Gone and lost to the gaming streets. PlayStation is winning out here, man. There is no doubt when these games come through, PlayStation is winning. And it scares me. It definitely gives me concern when it comes to PlayStation. I don't know if I like this too much. I don't want this to happen. I don't want Xbox to leave. I really want them to stay around and be competition. Hey, granted, maybe they aren't the best competition, but man, some of these games that are coming out now, if they had held them, if they had just held on, I truly think that the tide could have changed over time, and they would have been being competitive when it comes to PlayStation. But having PlayStation out there on their own, having PlayStation getting their games now, not just their games. I'm talking about franchises that defined the platform. They're getting those. They're getting Super Mario Brothers. They're getting Mario Kart. They're getting Donkey Kong Country. They're getting those. Metroid. What? This is what's happening. I don't think it's gonna, I don't see this ending well. Having Sony out there by themselves, Nintendo off doing their own thing, don't want to compete, don't want to fight. I don't know. I don't know how this could be a problem, but we'll get there a little later on in the show. But let's go ahead, guys, for the sake of time, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Gaming Bible. So this next story is pretty straightforward. On the PlayStation blog, they announced that several titles were getting free DLC. And one of those titles, which was, I will stand by it until I'm no longer here. It was one of my favorites. It actually was my favorite game of last generation. The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. That was also on the list. Now, players will be getting a new skin added to the game for Ellie, which will be Jordan's jacket from the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Now, things like this will be bonuses for people who link their PSN accounts to the game for PC. Now, the press release on Sony's blog, it's a little vague on whether PlayStation 5 owners would get the bonus. Whoa. They would get the bonus content. Oh, wait. Did I read that wrong? Hold on. It says, yeah, there's free DLC coming for several titles that are PlayStation games. This was on PlayStation blog. One of those titles, was The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. Players will be getting a new skin added to the game for Ellie, which will be Jordan's jacket from the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Things like this will be bonuses for people who link their PSN accounts to the game for PC. What? Whoa. Hold on, Sony. Wait. I know you got to be kidding. Ain't no way you're going to give a free DLC for the jacket that the woman was wearing in Intergalactic and have it be on PC and not on PlayStation? Ho. Wait a minute. Whoa, how are you going to do that? Now, I do remember they said they were going to be giving some incentives for PC players that didn't want to sign into the PSN account to play the games on PC. They were going to be giving them incentives to do so. Man, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. It is no way. Hey, Sony, man, don't start this. Sony, man.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Man, listen. God darn. God dog. Are y'all giving preferable treatment to the PC over the console? What? Man, I know.
But wait, it gets worse.
Oh, man. I should have read that a little bit better. Can y'all imagine that? Can y'all imagine PC actually getting some feature, some DLC for a game that was homegrown on PlayStation? And they're getting it before the console? Holy cow. Man, I do not like this. Now, granted, I didn't see the date, didn't get a date on this, but I be doggone. When this thing goes live on PC, it better be on PlayStation. It better be on PlayStation 5. Because if not, oh man, if not, I can see this turning into a Microsoft situation all over again. These jokers don't love you, PlayStation. They don't love you, man. You saw the numbers. Man, come on. Oh my gosh. They already gave up. They already, man, waving a white flag. You guys on PC don't want to log into PSN. It's okay. We understand. I get it. Hey, we love y'all. We want y'all to play over on PC and buy the games. Now, I do understand to a certain degree. Some countries just don't have PSN. And as a result, they wouldn't be able to play their games if they kept it that way. So I get it. These people are trying to buy the games. Some of them have bought the games, and because they need PSN, they no longer have access to the games. Okay, I get it. Sony, you did a great job with that. You know, making sure that, okay, you don't have to sign into PSN. It's fine. We get it. No problem. But golly, now all of a sudden you're going to start throwing incentives in there. You know, man, just go on and sign on and we'll give you a little something here and there. And on the console, you got people paying for PSN and you ain't giving them the same thing. Man, come on, man. God, dog. Maybe I'm making a big thing out of a small thing, but nah, to me, that's where it starts. Little things like this, where you start doing a little bit more for the other side versus your main customer fan base. These jokers going outside the house trying to take care of somebody else's household. Whoa. You see how they got Microsoft right there. Well, not Microsoft, but Xbox right now. Worried about everybody else, where everybody else is going to game. And, you know, when we all game, we win. Get the, man, you got to be kidding me. This we are the world, we are the children bull. Man, please. Sony, this better not be happening, man. I hope not. We'll see. We will see. I think I kind of flew off the handle a little bit, but I do not like where this could possibly lead to. This is not a good look, Sony. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. It could be coming to console as well. That's why reading is fundamental. I did not read this the right way. I was all excited. Yeah, man, that jacket, looking like a Kira and whatnot. We're going to be able to get that. The intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet jacket. Yeah. Ellie going to be rocking that joint, man. I don't even know. Ellie might be rocking it on PC and being doggone short sleeves on the PlayStation 5 version. This is it, man. This is crazy. Anyway, man, let's move on. Doggone. Okay, it made me mad. Let's get into the next story that I actually got from Gamatsu. Man, oh man. All right, let me get my mind together. God, dog. Man, please don't do this, Sony. Please don't do this to your fan base. Don't have them being taken out of content, free content coming their way for PC. Oh, man. Don't spend your last on the side chick. God, dog. Anyway, let's get into the next story, man. And this is in more Xbox news. So Microsoft will be having their ID at Xbox showcase on February 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, some of the publishers and developers that will be there are Acapora, Don't Nod, Raw Fury, Team 17, and Curve Games, just to name a few. The thing is, I'll say it, I have said it, and I'll say it again and again. Xbox has been killing their shows. I mean, make no mistake about it. They went from having terrible shows, actually okay shows, to pretty good shows, to horrible shows, and I do mean abysmal at times, to absolutely astounding showcases. Absolutely amazing. They have been the most improved over everybody. I'm talking Nintendo and PlayStation, because that PC show, now, it was never that bad. That PC show during E3, oh my gosh. Horrible. Ain't never been that bad. Xbox has never slipped into the abyss like that, man. That's a black abyss. God, dog. So they've been doing well. And they've been doing so well that I'm actually kind of excited about this show to a certain degree. Now, usually the ID at Xbox Showcase, that joke is a little shaky. But with their track record so far, this last show that they just did, the developer direct, and then the show that they did over the summer, the showcase, man, they batting like 1,000 right now. So I'm guessing they're just going off of their past behavior, that this show could actually end up being something very interesting. And who knows, maybe during this show, now I can't remember the name of the game, but it is a highly anticipated indie game that has been in the works for many, many years. It almost kind of has a flashback kind of look to it. It's pixelated. I cannot think of the name of it, but I'm hoping some of you might know what I'm talking about. It was shown off a couple of years ago. It was a beautiful looking side scroller, fantastic looking game, but we just haven't seen anything on it over the last couple of years. If that is at this show is a W out the gate. If that is there and they have extensive gameplay of that, this is a win for Xbox yet again. So I am, like I said, I'm interested. We'll see what happens with this. I might check this one out just on the strength and hope that that game will be there. But let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from IGN. So speaking of showcases, of course, we've heard this rumor before, but now we have an alleged better timeline. So, rumors.
Rumor has it is something that only I know.
So according to leaker Nate the Hate, the next PlayStation State of Play event will happen during Valentine's Day week, which is between February 10th and the 14th. So if this is true, I can't help but wonder if Sony would show a release date for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, or would they show the release date for Forza Horizon 5? We know it's over the spring. Both of these games are supposed to be releasing in the spring. What better time than to announce the actual dates at this alleged, if it does happen, this State of Play event? I will say it would probably seem petty to most, but it would make sense all at the same time because these games are coming out soon. It's like, look, man, we got to let people know, hey, we got Forza Horizon 5 coming out this day. We got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle coming out this day. And just imagine this. Oh my gosh. Imagine that they show off some PlayStation 5 Pro features that you can only get on the PS5 Pro. You can't get them on the base model, but if you got that Pro, you can go. These features are go with the Pro. That would be very interesting. Who knows if it happens? I kind of think it will. Sony is so petty. His jokers are so doggone petty. I can see them doing this and smiling about it. We are happy to announce that Forza Horizon 5 is coming out on May 27th, 2025. Get ready and pre-order your game now. You can already pre-order it right now, as it were. But, you know, oh, man, we'll see what happens with this. I don't know. But, again, I need a State of Play event. PlayStation, y'all ain't got no roadmap. Man, y'all canceling all kind of projects. Things ain't coming to fruition. I'm tired, man. Well, I ain't tired. I mean, let me stop it. Let me stop with this fake outrage. I ain't tired. They've had plenty of games come out. I got Astrobot still in the wrapper. I got Stellar Blade still in the wrapper. Okay? I mean, stop it right now. They've had plenty of games that have released. I have been eating well as a PlayStation fan. I've been eating fantastic. I've never been deprived, of my gaming appetite, as it were. It's always something to play, aka something always on my plate to eat. So let me stop it. I mean, last year was a great year, so great of a year for PlayStation. They got Game of the Year. They won Game of the Year. Astrobot. Oh, which that reminds me of something. I'm going to make this quick. It might not be super quick, but I'll try to make it quick. I want to shout out to the individual who will remain nameless for blessing me with Zelda. Oh, man. Zelda in the Breath of the Wild. Oh, my gosh. You guys know I've never been a big Zelda fan. Could care less about Zelda. Zelda been around since the NES. I ain't never rocked with old boy. I'm like, yeah, he's cool. He's a double OG. We all know what Zelda brought to the table. Yeah. He's that dude, but he's not that dude for me. I mean, I was clowning on him, saying, man, I ain't got no story. Choker got the rucka type of dialogue going on. These jokers ain't telling no darn stories. Man, what the world's going on with Zelda? Man, let me tell you something, man. Oh, goodness gracious. I restarted the game. I told said individual, because they will remain nameless because they don't want to be named. Because I would love to give them their props, but they don't want me to do that. But I told said individual, man, look, man, this game right here, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what the objective is. I'm going to try to hang in there because you were kind enough to, spend your hard-earned money to get me this game, but I am struggling getting into it. And I will say the individual was so kind-hearted. They simply said, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. Because I also told them that I was playing Super Mario Odyssey at the time. I was trying to beat that, and oh my goodness, I beat that game. God dog, that game right there, fantastic. That's the first game I beat this year. Had that game for like 6, almost 7 years, and I just beat it over the weekend. Goodness gracious, that climatic ending, oh my gosh, wow. Nintendo knows how to put some voodoo, some Disney magic all sprinkled all up in their games. Incredible game. At the end of it, I think I would give it like an 8.5, maybe an 8.75. I can't give it a 9. Some of those camera angles and some of the platforming, not quite, but highly recommended. Fantastic game. So I was telling them I was playing through that and I was going to get to Zelda. I was going to try to get back to it. I got to it and I reached out to them and said, I'm trying it, but it's just not working. It's not working. And they were like, hey, it's cool, man. Long as you're having fun with, the Switch, that's all that matters. I'm like, wow, man, I was very, very kind of said person to take that, that stance. And I'd be like, man, I spent my hard-earned money. You mean to tell me you ain't going to play it? No, nah, they were just so graceful, so amazingly cool about it. And I was like, you know what? Listen, this is what I'm telling myself. Let me just start the game over. I don't know what's going on. Maybe, just maybe if I start over, then maybe it'll click a little bit better. And, like I said, it had been like 5 or 6 years since I had booted it up. And, it went, man, oh man, when I restarted the game, it was like an instant light just turned on. And I mean, this game actually was telling a story. This game has voice acting in it. I said, whoa, wait a minute. This is overload. This is overload. Coming from a Nintendo game, y'all actually got real voice actors in the game. Whoa. Oh, Lord, what happened to the record? I'm like, man, this dude is telling a real story. When I got to a certain point, I'm not going to spoil it, but when I met a specific character, that character actually went into what happened, told Link you fought valiantly, and you were severely hurt. Joker had to go into cryo sleep for a couple of years, couple doggone decades. He went into cryo sleep and woke up and told him, look, the kingdom is in rubbish. We've been fighting and we've been losing. And I'm like, whoa, my goodness, it does have voice acting. And I got to shout y'all out, man. Especially the individual, because on this show, I have talked so much trash about Link. I've talked so much stuff about Zelda not being a great game. Why should it be up for Game of the Year? Why do people love it so much? It's a basic game. Oh my goodness. Y'all could have killed me on here. Y'all could have verbally assaulted me, especially that individual who bought the game for me. They would have had every right to say, Keon, just shut up, man. You haven't played the game. Why are you talking so bad about this game? And you know nothing about it. So for that, I want to say I thank y'all. I thank y'all for having grace. I thank y'all for having patience with me. And let me say all of this negative stuff about Zelda just to turn around and play the game and give it a chance. And actually, I have fallen in love with this doggone game. The game is magnificent so far. It is unbelievable. Gameplay, story, even the graphics hold up pretty doggone good. I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I have been sitting out on the sideline talking all of this stuff about this game, not knowing anything about it, and ended up loving it. Man, I'm going to tell you, the thing that took me over the top with the game was the doggone physics. What kind of Switch game has physics in it? That's what blew me away. I took that doggone twig stick and I went to work. Doggone, they ain't give me no sword. They ain't give me no real weapons. I'm up here fighting people with tree bark right now. And that doggone joker had a leaf hanging off of that little stick. And I said, look, this is all I got. I got to go to war with this joker. I hit him with the stick. Pow, pow, pow. All of a sudden, hit him with the last blow. That joker slid across the ground and his body started twisting. Oh, shucks. I said, ain't no way. This game got physics. Joker fell out the tree. I said, whoa. It was so amazing. Absolutely so incredible. I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there in shock and in awe that a Nintendo developed game, that a Nintendo character is being able to be played like this, that the story is progressing like it is. Man, God, dog. Again, I just have to publicly give Zelda an apology. Publicly give that game or that franchise an apology. And I'm only like 4 hours in and I'm enjoying the game this much. I put Days Gone on the side to play this game. Now, granted, now, let me not get too carried away. I'm probably going to be back on Days Gone at, any given day. But I will say I'm going to be hopping back and forth because Zelda Breath of the Wild is just that great of a game. And I want to shout out that individual who bought me this amazing gift several years ago and publicly say thank you for making me a Zelda fan and more importantly, making this my very first time officially getting into a Zelda game, helping me to propel into the Zelda franchise. I have to say again, thank you for this amazing gift, my brother. Man, oh man. Blew me the heck away, brother. I'm telling you. I can't wait to go back up there and play that joker later on today. Oh, man. I'm sleepy as ever. I came right in the house, chilled for about 20 minutes. I just came from Buffalo, and I came right down here to start recording, and here we are. I just, man, shout out to that individual. Man, I greatly appreciated it. Just such an amazing gift, man. Oh, my gosh. But with that being said, guys, oh man, we're over the hour mark. Let me see, how many stories do we have left? We got a few more. I'll try to speed them up though. So the next story I got was actually from Glitched. So last week we heard that Sony Santa Monica's next game, oh my goodness, allegedly would have had Kratos, venturing into Egyptian mythology. Well, I mean, hey, things seem to be a little different this week. Because according to Reddit user, man, I'm a butcher this brother name. His name is Conk. It's spelled K-E, which is K-A-N, K-O-K, Conk. Man, that's a little too close. God dog, pardon me. But, hey man, y'all heard me the first time, doggone. Anyway, images of Santa Monica's next project have leaked on 4chan, who show actress Deborah Wilson, who in the past has done motion capture and voice acting in Ragnarok. Now, she was seen dressed in medieval attire with face paint and piercings. Now, along with these alleged images, some new details about this alleged project were also given by the same leaker, that he can joke. I ain't gonna say his last part of his name. That's a little suspect. But the other details that came out were it says that the game will be, quote, science fantasy, end of quote, and that the game will be set in the future where humanity has regressed to medieval times. Hold on, give me 1 second. It is regressed to medieval times. Now, humans are able to harness and control magic through a technological device similar to a nuclear reactor. That is the last remnant of humanity's golden age, end of quote. But, hey, wait, there is more. Now, the main kingdom in the game is being threatened. Now, this is the storyline. Now, bear with me with this one. So, oh, shucks. Okay, the main kingdom in the game is being threatened by a dark society of wizards who plan to summon, a space demon. Yeah, man. Yeah, this is the story. Now the game will also feature a female protagonist. I'm sure that's going to upset some people, but it's going to be a female protagonist, with Deborah Wilson playing, quote, an important NPC who helps the protagonist in her mission, end of quote. Now I got to tell you that man, now that so-called storyline, that joke sound a little suspect. I mean, it sounds like High School Musical. God darn. It's a society of wizards who plan to summon a space demon. Oh, yeah, man, I don't know. However, I will say, Santa Monica Studios did begin hiring for its next project back in, I think it was August. It's around like August of 2023. So that's been going on 2 years. And we know that Cory Barlog has been busy working on something else, outside of God of War. So maybe this could be a thing, but, as always with rumors, man, take all of this stuff with a mustard seed of truth because, man, I mean, look, we've had crazier storylines in gaming, but wow, I don't know. I just don't know about this one. It could be cool. It could be something science fantasy. That could be interesting. And you know what I realize is that usually the so-called leaks that I don't think are true, they actually almost, not always, but they more so come true than not. So just me believing that this isn't true, this might be the next game that Cory Barlog is working on, a doggone science fantasy where these doggone dark wizards is planning to take over a kingdom with a darn space demon. With a female protagonist at the helm. Oh man. Yeah, buddy. We're gonna see what happens with this. Like I said, last week it was doggone Kratos in Egypt. This week we talking about science fantasy. Man, oh man, only time will tell. Let's go ahead though and let's get into the next story that I got from PC Gamer. So just like many gamers, I was very excited, to hear that BioWare was going back to work on a new Mass Effect, but now I got to say, I'm not so sure, because according to a new report from Bloomberg, BioWare's staff is now down to fewer than 100 people. Now, before Dragon Age, the Veilguard, before it missed its projected sales target by like doggone 50%, the studio had over 200 employees there. They have lost literally half their staff. Half. Just like their game only made up to half of what they expected for it to make. Now, just to put this in perspective on just how far BioWare has declined over the years, peak BioWare was estimated to conservatively have around 4 to 500 employees for much of the last decade. That's what they were at, 400 to 500. And now they have whittled down to a mere 100 developers.
But wait, it gets worse.
God, dog. Where's Mass Effect going to be with this? 100 people? Down 50%? What is the budget going to be like? Are they even working still on another Mass Effect? I would hope so. But half of the staff is gone. Where does that leave the next Mass Effect? More importantly, where does that leave BioWare? It was talks that, certain BioWare employees that were being taken out to help work on other projects around EA. Some of them never returned. Some of them are still with other studios. But yet, the Mass Effect team went from peak 400 to 500 to 100 in just over a decade. A little over, yeah. God, dog. I don't know if listen, I don't know if I believe that they can make another Mass Effect the way that they once did. A lot of that staff is gone. A lot of those people that made that Mass Effect magic, what it was, are no longer at the studio. So when you talk about making another Mass Effect, oh man, the doggone antennas go way up. Spidey senses tingling. I don't know about this. I don't know, but it's sad to see a huge powerhouse at one time. The same team, like I just mentioned, that released Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, Jade Empire, Knights of the Old Republic, those guys be pretty much a shell of what they used to be. A literal shell of their former self. I don't like it. I really don't. I'm such a big Mass Effect fan. They changed gaming forever. We had never seen anything like Mass Effect, where when you went to the second game and even the third game, your choices carried over. Oh my gosh, what? It was groundbreaking. I know some people can say, well, the ending at the end, it wasn't really what I thought it was going to. Oh, yeah, I get all of that. And that's fine. You're entitled to that opinion. But it is no doubt what they were able to do, the story that they told, the characters' development, the betrayal, the different paths that you could take. It was just so unbelievable. So unbelievable that we haven't seen anything like it since. Just to put it in context, we haven't seen anything like Mass Effect to this day. That's the BioWare I'm talking about. Absolute legends in the gaming atmosphere. Legends. Reduced to 100 developers. We'll see what happens, in the near future when and if, the next Mass Effect comes out. I'm rooting for them. I hope they can pull something out of pull a trick, out of the magic hat, pull something out of it. I'm hoping they'll be able to do it. But like I always say, only time will tell. Let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I got from IGN. So the reality in gaming today, is that slowly but surely, physical discs are being faded out. Yeah, physical discs they're trying to make it a thing of the past. But I will say this. Former boss of PlayStation, Sean Layden, he doesn't think Sony would get away with making the PS6 an all-digital discless console. And the reason is, he says, quote, Sony, which is the number one platform in probably 170 countries around the world, has an obligation or a responsibility to say, if we go discless, how much of my market is not able to make that jump? Can users in rural Italy get a decent connection to enjoy games? Now. Oh yeah, that was the end of the quote. So on a side note, though, IGN, they took a poll over 2,600 voters, where 79.4% said they would not buy a PlayStation 6 with no disc drive, and 20.6% said they would. So you have an unbelievable amount of people that want the disc drive. They want the optimal disc drive inside of the PlayStation 5. And they will not have anything but, if you don't have the drive, then you will not have them. And I know people do a lot of talking, but even for me, I would say if they don't have a disc drive, I don't want it. I don't want it. Because now I can only move the way that you want me to move. With an all discless console, do you know the games probably, it's a good chance. Nothing is for certain, but it's a good chance that a lot of games wouldn't go on sale digitally. Because it would be like, man, I got you over a barrel. You can only get your games from me. I'm your only friend. I'm your pusher man. You can only get it from me. Nobody else. So yeah, I'm going to keep these games at $70. It's going to be 7 years old. Guess what? Still going to be $70. And you're going to have to eat it because guess what? I'm your only option. That's why I can't support a all digital future. I can't do it. And pardon me for yawning. It's 7:12 in the morning. I haven't been to sleep yet. And I've been up since 8 o'clock this morning. It's almost 24 hours. God dog. But yeah, I can't support it. I'm curious to know, Shugs, is this something you would support? If PlayStation came out with an all-digital console, would you be like, okay, I'll pick it up. I'm not tripping on the physical. I would love to hear from you. Anyway, let's get into our final story of the week. And I actually got this from VGC. So, what did I write? Oh, you know what? No. You know what this is? I want to actually make a correction. Now, the Switch has sold 150.86 million units to date. But in order for it to become the best-selling console of all time, it would have to sell 160 million. 160 million units to top the PS2. Now, the Switch, this is where things get a little wonky. I reported something a couple of weeks ago where I said that the Switch was now the number one selling console in the U.S. Well, I gotta correct myself because I was wrong about that. Because according to Google, The Switch has sold 46.6 million units in the U.S. and PS2 had sold 53 million in the U.S. So unless Google's numbers are wrong, PS2 is still the king of consoles in America. Again, the Switch sold 46.6 million. PlayStation 5 sold 53 million. The whole, what's that? 7, 8, 9, 51 to like 7 million more? Oh, boy. That's something. They still got a ways to go, so they are not the king yet. But I'm dozing off and everything. Got to pardon me. Unprofessional Productions rears its ugly head yet again. But before I get too far out of control, we'll see if they can catch them. But I am highly doubtful that they do. Anyway, that is the end of the gaming news this week, which takes us into our final section of the podcast. And I know you guys saw the question from the jump, but let's go over it officially. So, will PlayStation become stagnant? And the reason why I'm asking this question is, and when you look at it, you have Gears of War coming over to PlayStation. You have Forza 5 Horizon coming over to PlayStation. You have Halo coming over to PlayStation. You have Doom coming to PlayStation. All of these games that would be or used to be Xbox exclusives. Well, Doom wasn't an exclusive, but you get my point. They own it. With all of these games coming over to PlayStation, could it be a situation where PlayStation feels like they don't need to try as hard? Well, look, The Last of Us Part 3, what are we in a rush for? We got Gears of War, E-Day coming. Ratchet and Clank, don't worry about that. We got the next Forza coming. Oh, we got so many games. We got Fable coming. We have so many games coming to our platform that we can have our games come out once a generation. So Naughty Dog, you make one game for the generation. That's it. No, you won't be making The Last of Us Part 2, and you won't be making an Uncharted, even though we know that Uncharted isn't being worked on by Naughty Dog anymore. But the Intergalactic game, you're not going to be doing a sequel to that. We need you to make one game for the year. Blue Point, same thing. One game, not for the year, but for the generation. I think that this could be terrible when it comes to PlayStation and their first party, the way that their first party is distributed. I became a fan of PlayStation because of exclusives, not because of third party exclusives, not because of you getting these second party deals. No, I became a fan for games like God of War, for Uncharted, for Ghost of Tsushima, things of that nature. Horizon, the Horizon franchise, not Forza, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Horizon Forbidden West. Those are the games why I get your platform. And I feel like them not having any real competition, Nintendo is not going to be competition. They are not. They're not going to be. With them not having any competition out there, I feel like they are going to get very lazy. They're going to become very stagnant. They're not going to have the urgency to go out there and compete and have their studios making multiple IPs, new IPs. I really feel like this could have a very negative effect on PlayStation's production. When you're sitting there and you're the king and you don't have to really work, you don't really have to hustle like you used to. These games are just coming to your platform. You don't have to do anything to get them. They are willingly, voluntarily giving them to you. And I know I say giving, but I know that they're going to make their money off of the games being on another platform, Xbox that is. But with them being so willing to give you all of these games, pick what you want. You want this one, you want that one. Cool. All right, fine. We'll give you that one, and that one before the end of the year. Whole time, PlayStation can sit back and not do anything. Sit there, let Microsoft give them all of these games while their first party sits on their hands and does nothing at a fast pace. Everything slows down to a snail's pace. Then you have Hiroki Totoki in there. Who's to say that he wouldn't say, what's the urgency? Xbox games are coming over. There are plenty of games for our player base to eat off of. Why are you rushing this? Why does the budget need to be so much? We don't have any competition. Our direct competition is giving us their games. That budget doesn't need to be that high for the next God of War. Man, slice that thing in half and just make a good game, because the PlayStation is going to sell, because we're pretty much the only player in town that can offer this type of AAA experience on the console. I just don't think this is going to work out well. I just truly see PlayStation. We got a small glimpse at what PlayStation is like when they are unchallenged, and that was the PlayStation 3 era. Terrible across the board. They got cocky. Price point was raised. They thought this cell processor was going to be amazing and all of this other stuff, and it failed. But what saw them through? The games. They're exclusive video games that you could only get on the PlayStation brand. And why did they have to do that? Because they were being slaughtered. They were being beat pretty handily at one point in time by the 360. They had to lower that price point. They took the they took the rumble out of the controller. Oh, they got way too grown. But they had to be taken down a notch because Xbox was their rival. And Xbox was giving them that work early on until they caught them and initially beat them. But that's why I say competition is key. We need Microsoft around. I'm hoping that they stay around to some capacity. And I really do mean compete, though. Right now, they're not competing. Putting your games on rival platforms is not competing, in my opinion. It's you pretty much cowering and saying it's over. We can't compete. Here, take our stuff. We give up. Don't beat us no more. We're hurting. Nah, I don't like it. And as a result, I think that Sony is going to suffer. Ultimately, their first-party studios are not going to be. We see it now. They're not producing at the same clip that they did last generation. And they're in the lead this generation, and you know they're feeling a certain way, knowing that Microsoft are bringing their games over to their platform willingly, while they still have a console. Just look at the effort during the PlayStation 4 era, and look at the effort this generation. And I'm not saying PlayStation is doing necessarily anything wrong, because the fan base is being fed, but just look at the hunger. From last generation to this generation. This generation has been, I would be a little, I wouldn't be being fully, man, what's the word? I don't think I would be fair if I was to say that this generation has been a shell of itself. I can't say that. Games like God of War Ragnarok, things like Horizon Forbidden West, Ratchet and Clank, it's no way I can say that it's been a shell of itself from last generation. No doggone way. Spider-Man 2, I can't say that, but it just seems like that fire and that hunger that was there during the PS4 era is missing. And I truly believe it's because they know that Xbox is not the competition that they once were, and they can kind of go into cruise mode right now. And then you talk about the next generation with Xbox possibly not even being around. Oh, come on, man. Trouble. I already can see it, but I would love to get you guys' opinion on this. If you do want to be a part of the conversation, you can do it two different ways. You can either call in at 443-627-9087 and let your voice be heard, or you can email the show, and the email address is theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. I was your host, Keon Mitchell, and as always, I want to thank you guys for being here. So as always, before we wrap this thing up and put a bow on it, always remember one thing. It is not about the consoles. It is about the games. So until Wednesday, when we do it again, until then, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.